Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Quilt and Coffee Chat live on Friday with Build a Quilt. I'm Diana. So glad that you are with me. Please go ahead and sign in the comments. Let us know who you are. Let us know where you're from. Excuse me, I have a hair in my eye. Sorry about that. I'd love to say hello to you. In fact, our good friend Sue is already checked in. Hi, Sue. So glad to see you today. So I hope everybody has their mug, their cup, their cuppa, coffee, tea, soda, whatever you need at this time of morning. Can you guys see my new mug? Isn't it cool? It's one of the swig mugs, like taking a swig. And this one came from the Fat Quarter Shop. I didn't know that they had created these with these lovely quilting designs on them. There's another one too that's bigger, that's a different color, which is my favorite color. I wish they had flipped the colors, but I also love red, so I don't have a problem with that. And I think it was Amy Smart. You guys know Amy Smart. Great quilter and fabric designer. She was showing this in one of her blog posts from the holiday. And when I saw it and saw that it was from Fat Quarter Shop, she had been gifted one, I think it was her mom. I ran over there to see if they still had them, because typically once I see something like this, it's so long gone, I'll never find one. But it was there, and so I ordered it. It came just in a few days. Actually think I spent a little more to get it here in a few days, but I love it. And boy, does this keep your hot beverages hot. I mean, to the point where like 6 hours later, it was still drinkably very warm. I was really surprised. But the one thing I'll tell you, see how this slides at the top here? When that's closed and this is pressed in because it's hot, before you take your first drink, open that and press your lid back down, because the pressure from the heat actually has built up enough that it actually loosened it, to the point where if I had taken a drink, that whole thing would have could have come off. I don't know if it would have, but just open it to let the steam out, press that back down. You're going to have a really hot, and it keeps your cold drinks really cold as well. So I love it. So here's my Quilt and Coffee Chat mug for 2025. That's the one I'll be using. But I have another swig mug, not supported by them, but I like their mugs. I have another one exactly this size, and it's got a black background and just a lot of fun color designs on it. And I loved it. But Dave has another mug that takes this exact same top that he was gifted, and his top broke. So I gave him my top from my other mug. And so I've not been able to use it. So now I can flip this top between my two swig mugs. So I'm loving it. So, or maybe you just got a bottle of water. That's always good. We could always drink more water for sure. Hello, Ruth, from lovely Lake Stevens, Washington. Ruth knows I love it out there. Dave and I, for those of you who don't know, lived out in Washington for a few decades. So Lake Stevens is a beautiful place. We love it out there. We have good friends that live out there. And Sue says, love your mug. Thank you, Sue. I love it too, for sure. I absolutely do love it. Quilt and Coffee Chat Live. What is it? Well, you guys know that normally we have our Wednesday workshop at 6 p.m. on Wednesday nights. But last year in 2024, we started playing around with the idea that we would do some Friday shows during like the late morning to early afternoon. Unfortunately, now this year I teach a class in the afternoon. So I have to do it at 11. That's my time slot that I can be with you all. And I love it. It actually works out great. It gets me up and on my toes and gets my run over with, my breakfast ate, my shower done, and all of that really nice and early. And so last year we did it kind of just randomly, like literally one Friday, I just did it from my kitchen. You guys loved it. And I was so happy that you did. And so I started getting emails. Can we do it more? Can we do it more? Sure, we can. So I would occasionally do it. And then you said, can it be on a regular basis? And I thought, well, I have to think about that. And I did. And then we announce at the end of the year, we're doing Quilt and Coffee Chat Live twice a month on Fridays at 11 a.m. Central Standard. And here in a little bit, I'm going to show you, I sent it out as a post yesterday in an email to anybody who's subscribed over at the website. And I've posted it here on the YouTube channel under just the static post, the community post. It's posted there. It's a list of all the dates, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. But we are thrilled to have you guys with us today. I hope everyone is having a good day. We are actually getting snow. We've got 3 inches now. We're supposed to get 3 or so more inches by about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm loving it, except I have to leave the house to go do my thing. And I'm a little, this morning when I took Dave to work, the roads were pretty clear, but the snow hadn't really started yet. So I'm hoping they've got the main roads cleared. They do not have the roads in our neighborhood cleared. So I don't know what that'll be like. We'll see. I'll be careful. I'm a safe driver in the snow. I'm like Granny in the snow. I'm just like putting along, listen to my tunes, and I get there eventually. I give myself plenty of time. Growing up in the country, you learn how to give yourself time on the roads and stuff. So, all righty, everybody. So glad to be with you. Now, so what is Quilt and Coffee Chat Live? It is not a repeat of everything we did Wednesday night. It is typically going to last less than an hour. Sometimes we only did 30 minutes. Today might be, up closer to that hour because it's our first one, and I have some cool things to share with you all today. But it'll never be over an hour because I can't do that on Fridays. And there's always going to be new things. There's a new question of the week. So Wednesday nights we have question of the week and we do prizes. Today we do question of the week as well. Now I forgot to prep the spinning wheel. Do I still have it out? I do not. I erased it and put it away. I don't have the prize spinning wheel, but I will tell you right now, the question of the week prize for this will be a $5 off coupon for anything over at the shop. Okay. Except for the subscription for Quilt Lab. That will be the prize today for the question of the week. And this question of the week is a little bit interesting, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I have a new announcement to make here in a little bit about a collaboration that I'm doing with someone that I absolutely, totally believe in their stuff. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then I'm going to briefly tell you about Wednesday night. We're going to talk about the January new block for Quilt Lab. It's the last block of the 2024 cycle because Quilt Lab runs February 1 through the end of January. So let me check in over here and see what we've got going. Love your mag. Oh, Sue, you're getting snow as well. Yeah, stay safe. I'm actually kind of waiting to see if the school calls me and says, no go, we're not having classes this afternoon because they have to bus kids in and out and all of that. And then again, my heart goes out to everyone out in California in these fires. I found out my aunt actually lives in that area. The fire has not gotten to her home, but she's been without power now for a few days. And the air is full of the smoke and all. So luckily my cousin's former spouse is close and he will come and get her if he has to get her out of there. She could drive herself, but I prefer somebody come and get her personally because she's like me and she's going to be very like anxious and excited and kind of like, on the edge. So I prefer someone take care of her and let her just kind of stay in a relaxed mode. But it's horrible out there. It's as bad out there now as like what happened in North Carolina with those floods this year. My heart goes out to everybody out there for sure. All righty, everybody. Let's talk about for a moment the dates that we're going to be meeting. Let me bring up a little thing here. So this is what I sent out, and this is a community post here on the YouTube channel. This gives you every date that we're going to meet through the year. 2 in January, 2 in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, Now you'll see there's only one in September on the 5th of September. And that is because September is typically the month where Dave and I try to get away and take a little vacation. We're normally only gone like a couple of days during the week or a long weekend, like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But this year we are doing our best to save up and get tickets and arrangements to go for 2 to 2.5 weeks back out to Seattle. That's, you guys know, we lived there for a long time, and Seattle, even though we're both from Illinois where we live now, Seattle is truly the home of our heart. And so we have so many friends, and I do have my cousin who lives out there now, and we just miss them all so badly. We've not seen anyone out there in years. And we always, Dave's birthday's in September, we always like to take a long drive around the Cascade Loop, which takes us up and over the mountains of the Cascades, down into Spokane, back around through Portland, Oregon, and all, and back into Seattle. So that's what we're going to be doing in September. So I'm only going to be able to meet with you on a Friday once in September, then again back to 2 in October, November, and December. Now I'm going to make this caveat, guys, that if we get to July, let's say, July through the end of the year can be subject to change, because between now and then we don't know what's going to happen. But I felt like it would be better to give you all, let's take that off of there, it's making me crazy. I thought it would be better to give you all a full year's worth of dates so you can pencil them into your calendar. And then if things get changed or moved around, you'll get plenty of notice. But originally I was just going to tell you the 2 dates at the end of the 1 month into the next month. And that really isn't fair to you or to me. You really can't plan that. So there are your dates. I hope you can be with us for all of them, or at least most of them, twice a month, except for that one time in September. So I'm very excited to be with you guys on Friday for this time. So the first thing I want to talk about today, now remember, if you have questions along the way today, comments, please put them in the comment section, because I'd love to see them. I'd love to be able to answer them for you right on air. Now, I know our good friend Ruth checked in. Ruth, I still owe you your prize from Wednesday night workshops question of the week. I have not forgotten, my dear, but Wednesday night is when we found out about my aunt, and we are trying to like do some organization and making sure she's okay and stuff. And I just kind of, things got away from me, but that is still coming your way. You'll get it this weekend. Okay. And that was, you had won the surprise. So you're getting a surprise pattern. I just wanted you to know that since you're with us today. All righty. So why don't we talk about, first things first, let's talk about the new layout for the quilt, the end of the year Quilt Lab quilt. Here it is. If you were with us on Wednesday, you got to see this. Originally, we were not going to do the sashing, but if you all remember, throughout last year, we did the Riley Blake block challenge. That full set of blocks and sashing that I created to go with that in the Build a Quilt system is available for free out on our website. And we are going to be using that sashing to add sashing to the quilt. You can use it or not use it. It's entirely up to you. If you don't use it, you're going to get a great 50 by 50 wall hanging. If you do use it, you're going to get 2, 4, 6, 8. You're going to get about a 60 by 62 inch quilt, which would be maybe a nice throw. It would be a larger wall hanging, but you could still use it for a wall quilt. But it would be perfect for like a child or a throw in the living room, something like this. But this is it right there. And what I want to show you is what you need from the Riley Blake Block Challenge is the 3 segment pieces that make up the sashing. It'll be in a folder in there. Remember, that set is free. And this is what you use. If you want the step-by-step information on how you use it and what you make, then please go back and watch our Wednesday workshop live from January 8th. That's just this 2 days ago. Watch that because I give you a slide with how many you're going to make of everything and how it gets put together. And I show it to you up on the board and all of that good stuff. But like I said, on Fridays, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but you're going to be using this sashing set. And you can see what I did. Instead of making it blue and white like we did for the Riley Blake quilt, I exchanged that blue out for one of the colors that is in my quilt. And I chose the yellow to kind of really pop all of that out. So if you're looking in your fabric that you're using for your quilt, choose one of the, I would say one of the lighter colors. You don't want that sashing to take over the quilt. So choose one of the lighter colors to go with the white and use that for your sashing. And I think you're going to end up with a really beautiful quilt, and I think you're going to love it. And that's the sashing set. You get the diamond in a square, you get the rectangle, and you get the full piece, which is these two connected. And these are really 3 individual pieces. You make this all at one time, this at one time, and this at one time. And then you're going to end up sewing these together to make the complete segments. But you can watch that, like I said, in January. And I'm guessing that most of you that are going to be watching on Fridays, unless you're brand new with us, and if you are, welcome. We're so happy to have you with us today. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and become part of our Build a Quilt community. We'd love to have you. But I bet most of you have this pattern set because, as I told you Wednesday night, that is the set I cannot keep in stock over at the website. I mean, like every day or two, I'm restocking that pattern set because you all loved it so much. And that came about because of you guys. You requested that if we could do that. And I was able to, and it didn't cost because the challenge from Riley Blake was free. So this was free. And you got 16 10 by 10 inch blocks. And so with those blocks and the 10-inch blocks we made last year in Quilt Lab, you guys have a huge, huge library of blocks now, and you can just go wild and make whatever you want now. I love that. I love that we were able to do that. I find that to be a truly fun thing. All righty, everybody. Let's go ahead and move on. If there's any questions, pop them into the thing. Ruth, you're saying not to worry. Oh, about your prize, Ruth. Thank you so much for understanding. I truly do appreciate that. So our new block, here we go. You've been looking at it the whole time, you silly gooses. Here it is. It is the Crystal Star. The Crystal Star block. The Crystal Star, hang on, I've got my info in here for you. Here we go. There we go. It comes in the package. You get the digital files for 8x8, 10x10, and 12x12. This is, of course, the 10x10 block. And this block kind of looks like some of the other blocks we've made in the past because it's an 8-pointed star. Can you see how many different variations you can make with an 8-pointed star? It's crazy. However, this block is made from squares and a very modified flying geese unit. Those are the only 2 units you're making, but technically you're going to make 3. What you talking about, Diana? What are you doing? That's crazy. What do you mean 3? Let me kind of fold this so I can get it so that you can just see the part I'm talking about. Look at that flying geese unit. Do you see how on the sides our little wings are not 1 piece of fabric? They're 2. That's the modification, that the wings are 2 pieces of fabric. If you tried to make that flying geese unit as a single unit in the embroidery machine, you couldn't do it because you end up with Y seams, the dreaded Y seams. Oh no. And in regular quilting, we run from them like the plague, right? We hate dealing with the Y seams, but you don't have to worry about that with Build a Quilt because we can make it in segments, put our segments together, and never have to even think about that dreaded Y seam. I love it. So let's take a look. These double triangles are created as an individual segment. These 2 are a segment, 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 segment. And in the how-to video, I go through how these are created, how you lay them out, the whole bit. There's no guesswork there, because the randomness of how this looks, of how these star points look, because as you'll notice, there's no purple on purple or white on white anywhere. That's to give it that crystal or reflective idea, thus the crystal star. Get it? So this was really easy to make that. And let me show you. This is one of those units. In the video, there's a how-to on how this is created, where I'm right at the machine doing it, making it, not a problem. So it's right there in the video. You're going to make this. Now, this is not the right color, but you're going to also make a bunch of larger triangles. So let's go back to our sample. This part is your larger triangle, and you're going to have two of the two triangle segments attached to it. And it's very easy to do. I give you a couple of pro tips later on in the how-to video for how to work all of that and how to put it together. But let me share something with you, because I got a very interesting question just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Someone wrote to me and said when she was putting pieces together, they were ending up being too long on one edge. See how if I line it up right there, down here at the bottom, it's too long? That's because you don't want to line up the fabric ends. You want to use the pin method where, let's see, do I have my pin here? I do. Let me grab it. You want to take your little glass-headed pin and you want to put it right in that corner. Do you see there? Right in the corner of where the stitches comes together. That is your seam line, guys. And there is a video in here that shows you that towards the end when it talks about putting things together. But I think this, the gal who sent me the email was brand new and didn't quite understand that process. So we went over it. Not a problem at all, because I will do that for you anytime. So you put it right there in the corner, and then when you come to bring these two together, you put the pin right in that corner right there. Oh, I'm playing the trombone here. And then my magnifier's on. So then when this gets lined up, your sewing lines on each side are perfectly aligned. And now when you just sew down that sewing line, you're going to get the perfect seam. Everything will be fine. You'll end up with a couple little dog ears. You just clip those off just like you do in any traditional quilting method, and away you go. So that is the lining up. So if you only line up your fabric ends, you're going to end up with something funky, because you're not going to have your lines, your points lined up quite right. So that pin method helps you with that. I've been doing Build a Quilt long enough now that I can just go and kind of go there and line them up, and I'm good. I can do it visually now. But even for myself, sometimes, like when I was doing these, I used that pin method to make sure that everything was right on the space where it needed to be. Does that make sense to everybody? Please let me know if you have any questions about that in the comments, and we'll take care of those questions right now. But that's how you create the two little segments, okay? Now, I told you that this was going to be ready to get today. The pattern is ready and the video is ready, but the edits on the pattern are not quite finished. I take full responsibility. Again, I was working on them Wednesday night. I got the call about my aunt. We started doing all the family stuff you do to help family members out when they're having difficulties. And I just didn't finish. I'm just going to be honest with you, but that will be up no later than Sunday morning. In fact, I suspect it'll be out by Saturday afternoon, because tomorrow I'm just going to sit down after breakfast and finish it and get it out to you guys. But the video is done now. My sample and all was done. So I do apologize. I have not put the video, I have not posted the video yet, because I want the pattern to be available for people to to get when they watch it, so they can go ahead and start making it. Quilt Lab subscribers, you'll get your coupon when I post that tomorrow. And again, my apologies, guys. Really, I am truly sorry. It is not how I intended to start the year, but who could have predicted wildfires literally wiping out most of Los Angeles? So I do apologize for that, but I'm sure you understand. Thank you so much. But that is our crystal star. Now, let me show you something here. Let's put it back up over here on my board. Remember, we were talking about 10 by 10? Look, that's our 10 by 10 size. You want to use this and some other 10 by 10 block that we had from last year, go for it, do it. But here's the thing I want to tell you. These sashing pieces that we made for the Riley Blake Block Challenge can go with this too. So if you want to make this slightly larger with a border, you could use these. If you want to use this as a quilt, if you did this in different sizes or different color schemes and then used these as your sashing, you'd end up with a beautiful quilt. Okay. So, but these sashing pieces will go with that. Isn't that cool? I love it. I love it. I hope you do. So let me check in with you guys. Hi, Linda. So glad you could be here. Oh, it's fine. You're not late. You're right on time for you, Linda. Not a problem at all. You were shoveling snow. Linda, I am too. We've got 3 inches now. We're expecting 3 more inches. And I have to leave after we're done here to go teach a class. And I'm waiting to find out if the school is canceling or not. In fact, I might have just had a text from them. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Okay, I'm just waiting to hear if they're gonna, because they've got to bus kids out into the country and stuff. I'm waiting to hear about that. All righty, so let me see. I've got some other things to share with you guys today. Whoops, we'll take that back down. So any questions about the new block, guys? I'd love to hear if you do. Let's see here. Done that one. Okay. All righty. So I want to share something with you guys. I shared with you last year the color cube, right? You guys know I love it. Let me show you what I mean by the color cube. The color cube are these 2 cubes. There's cube 1 and cube 2. You can get just 1, just 2, or both of them. And I say if you're a color fanatic like I am, you want both, but that's just me. They're not horribly expensive. Each one of them has 250 cards. Really good cards. The woman who created this, her name is Sarah Renee Clark. I've told you guys this before. So I used 2 of her color cards to help me decide on the colors for this month's block. Let me tell you why. You guys know that have been with us a while. Those are my colors. I would make every block and every quilt I own in some form of those colors. I mean, you see it on the here on the live feed right there in that little thing that just popped up. Colors, you can see it up in the logo. Those are my. I love them, but you guys probably don't love them as much as I do, right? And you guys are probably tired of seeing all the blocks being done like that. I want to give you some variety, some inspiration, right? So when I need inspiration to get my brain out of that idea of those colors, I always, for this whole last year, I used the color cubes. I ordered them for myself just because I saw them on her website and I like them. Sarah she creates coloring books for adults, you know, all the beautiful art and stuff. She has a great YouTube channel. She has a great Facebook page. She's Australian, which I have an akin to that. Long story, which I won't share with you now, but I do. And so I've been using them through the last year and they are perfect. And I've told you this before, for quilters. They weren't created for quilters, guys. So little did she know, she was creating what I think is the best new tool for quilters. Quilters who are new or experienced and everywhere in between. And this is why. If I get stuck in my head one kind of color scheme, or if, like so many of you do, you say, Diana, I have such a hard time with I have such a hard time with choosing colors for my fabric. I'm not confident in that. I always say if you can dress yourself, you can pick colors, because whatever you go put, whatever you've got on your body, go make a quilt in those colors. You'll love it because you loved what colors you were wearing. But that's kind of color and theory and all that, very simplified, right? Well, Sarah has done the hard work. I don't know how she came up with this. But as an artist, I suspect she ended up creating it because it was something that helped her. Because as artists and creative people, we tend to end up inventing things because there's something that helps us. Like me, you all know Build a Quilt came around because I had friends who were machine embroiderers and wouldn't quilt with me. So I decided to create something with the embroidery machine so they would quilt with me. But in the end, Build a Quilt really is helpful for me too. My eyesight isn't great as it used to be, so precision was getting harder. Had surgery on both my hands. So Build a Quilt was helpful for me too, and I love it. But here's the deal. These cards, each and every one of them, they're numbered in the box. So if you want to keep them in order, mine are not in order. Just like a deck of cards, I just put mine back in at the end of the day. But the nice thing is she gives you this lovely picture from nature, and then a whole row of 5 colors. And I'm really of the opinion no quilt should ever have more than 5 colors. If you're having more than 5 colors in a quilt, your eyes are doing this all over the place, right? And even 5 sometimes can be a bit much. I always try to keep it at 3, maybe 4, but 3 or less for us here with Build a Quilt, so that you guys can see kind of the basics and overall inspiration for the quilt instead of letting the colors go crazy. So she gives you 5 colors that go together. They're all in that picture right there. I want to go. I see this. I'm like, oh, I love those. I'd really like a quilt. I take this with me to the fabric shop and I start looking for these colors. But you're thinking, maybe I don't like, look at the back, guys. Here are those main colors from the front, and she's given them a name, and she gives them like the hex number and the RBGC number, all of that information's on there. So if you are a visual designer, that's why she created these. These are really helpful for you guys. She didn't know she was creating something for quilters. But over here, she gives you that color in a light, medium, and dark variation. So maybe you don't want this medium color here, this medium orchid. Maybe you like the darker or the lighter one. Or maybe you like the light pink and the medium orchid together. She gives you options here. So when you go to this fabric store, you're like, ooh, I know that any of those combinations are going to work together. And my pattern calls for a light, a medium, and 2 darks. Okay, I like that dark and I like that dark. I like that medium and I like that light. And then you start looking for your fabrics, and you know each and every time your quilt will look spectacular because these colors are meant to go together. So when I was picking colors for the Crystal Star, I originally pulled out this one. I love these flowers. I love lilacs. So on the back, so this is light blue, cornflower, royal blue, dark blue, and this is black. But look on the back. Look at all the different variations in color here. So I knew when I looked at this, I had a color that was really close to this cornflower blue, and I really love it. But I wasn't sure that I wanted to use anything else. So I kept looking through the box. And lo and behold, I found this one that I just showed you. It has the cornflower blue. Whoops, these are different from the way they're laid out. Let's see. This is the cornflower blue. I knew I had that color. That's my dark color, because when I go to the back, it was the darker, the medium version of the cornflower blue. No, it's not cornflower, sorry, the royal blue. It was that one. And then I found in the cornflower, this one that I used in my double triangle. And in that double triangle fabric, guess what? There are all these colors in there too. So when I put that together, I was like, I know it goes together, and I know it goes together perfectly. And let me show you another one. This one I pulled because we're in winter. And when I think of winter, I typically think of blues and whites. But look at this one. Now, she calls this ghost white, but it's like you have white and one single drop of blue in it. It is the lightest, iciest blue I've ever seen. It's beautiful. Then she has a scarlet, an auburn, a charcoal, and the umber. They all come from that picture. And so if I wanted something with a bright and a light color and some darks for winter, a winter quilt, these would be a beautiful collection to do. Last year, I think the first time I ever talked to you guys about this was at Valentine's Day. And this one was one of the cards that we chose our colors for our Valentine's Day project. And these colors are all picked from these, I'm just going to say the brand name, sorry, but M&Ms. I know they're called something else generically, but for me, who grew up with everything being called by a brand name, M&Ms. And I loved it. And so here I've got all kinds of reds, a white, a lighter medium pink, a really dark rust color down here. They all went together. So depending on your mood, if you're looking for something for a specific holiday season, you can find it in those boxes, guys. It's crazy good that way. So that is what I did. I chose the cornflower. I used this one to choose. Look at that. Could that be any better of a choice? Oh my goodness. I love that. So, okay, let me see. We've got Linda says, Linda, you have them and the portable catalog too. And you love the purples. Yes, they do have a portable catalog too. One that is just goes onto your phone and it's digital. It goes onto your computer, your iPad, your tablet, and your phone. I have that too. And I use that sometimes when I'm trying to figure things out. When I've got a bunch of them, I will pull that up and then create a little specialty palette and stuff. And then Linda goes on to say, it's amazing how different it appears from the one above. The top one appears to point in, the purple one appears to point out. I'm not sure what you meant by that. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Linda. You can explain it to me though. But I love these. And here's another thing that you can use these. Our coloring sheets. Remember, you get a coloring sheet every single time you buy a pattern from Build-A-Quilt so that you can play with colors. So maybe you've picked a couple of cards. You know you have fabrics in these colors. Get your pencils and play with them on the block that you're using so that you can figure out which ones of these that you want to use in your quilt block in your quilt. You know they're going to work together because they work together here. Okay, and trust me, Sarah knows all about color theory. She has some color theory videos. If you're more interested in that kind of thing, she has some on her website. The blocks behind you. The blocks behind me. Well, that's the Points Home block, Linda, and that's our new Crystal Star. They're two different blocks. And yes, those flying geese point inwards, and these flying geese actually all point inward, except the two in the middle point outward to make our full star. That center is to look like a diamond in a square kind of a thing. So I hope that answered your question, dear. So you can use these with your coloring sheet. Then you're going to go off to the store or you're going to shop your stash. That's another reason I find these really helpful, because I have a lot of stash fabric that aren't from the same designers. And so when I go to try and find them, I want to make sure that something's working together. My color card. I know if I pull colors from this card, no matter who the designer is, if they're these colors, they're going to work together. Okay, so it makes it really helpful. But it's really helpful when you're doing your coloring sheet too. And again, the coloring sheets are great. If you've got little ones you have to be watching and you want some quilting time, sit them down with their crayons or colored pencils, give them some of your coloring sheets and let them color them. And then maybe choose one and create the block in those colors and give it to that child. You are going to change that child's life in a way you will never be able to predict. I won't even tell you how you might change their life, because you can't know. but someday something will happen and that child will say, that coloring sheet, that block did this for me and it changed my life. I guarantee it. I really do guarantee it. So there you are. Now, here's my big announcement. You guys know that I don't get supported by anybody to show their products, right? I never have, and deciding whether or not I would do that with anything would take me a while to think about that and really mull that over. Well, a week and a half or so ago, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I wanted to invite Sarah Renee Clark, who is the owner and designer of the Color Cube, to come on for a little interview, a little Q&A with you guys. Now, wouldn't that be fun to have her come on, tell us more about the Color Cube, tell us more about color in general, because as quilters, we work in color. And so to have someone who is so knowledgeable about that help us even more, give us more support and ideas and inspiration, I thought would be wonderful. So I sat down and did what you do. I sent her an email. I told her that I had been showing the Color Cube, that I truly think in 2024, that was my product of the year, the Color Cube. And I said, I would love to have you come on the Wednesday night workshop show. Would you please do that? And so it was over the weekend I sent it. So I didn't expect a return email. But Monday, I got an email from her and she said she was so happy to hear from me, blah, blah, all of that nice stuff. And I'm sure she truly meant it. And she said she'd love to come on the Wednesday night workshop. Isn't that great? However, she has a little something going on that is preventing her from talking. I'm not going to share anymore because it's not my story to tell. But she's got a little something going on. And so she has to take care of that this year. And when she's done at the end of August, she said if I would contact her back, we would make time at the end of the year to bring her on. So because that would mean contacting her in September, and Dave and I are going to be gone most of September, I will contact her again at the end of September, and we are going to schedule having Sarah Renee Clark, the owner and designer of the Color Cube and the Color Planner, right here with us on Wednesday workshop. Now, she's in Australia. I'm in Illinois in the US. So time might be different. We're going to all have to be a little flexible about that. And I will be flexible toward her because she is being nice enough to come on as our guest. But you guys will get that information filled in. When I start to tell you about it coming, share it with your friends, share it with all your quilting friends, whether they're Build-A-Quilters or not, share it with them, have them join us for that live event because we want a huge audience. We want questions, all of that. And, you know, I plan on using the Color Cube throughout the year anyway. I already have a whole lineup of things I want to do with the Color Cube and us this year to kind of help us inspire us with other colors. So I was telling her about that. And she said to me, Diana, I would love to invite you to join my affiliate program. Now, an affiliate program is when I give you a link to her website. And when you go there, they know that you went there because of my link. If you buy something, then we get a little bit of a payment from that. I am not doing this to tell you guys that you have to go buy her Color Cube, but you guys know how much I believe in it. And I would only do this. I thought about this long and hard. I talked about pros and cons and all that with Dave until he was sick to death of hearing me talk about it. I know. But I did. And I did that because I think it really is the best new tool to come out for quilters in a very long time to cover that problem of how do I choose my colors? Okay. Because I know we take classes and then a month later we're still going, how do I choose my colors? This makes choosing your quilt colors simple, fast, easy, and gives you confidence every single time. So I have decided that I would become an affiliate for Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cube system. I'm going to give it a try. I am going to post in comments right now a link. If you go to her website, if you would not mind using that link, that is my affiliate link. They'll know that you are a Build-A-Quilter and that you came because you saw the Color Cube here on our show. I am not forcing you anything like that, but this is the one product kind of outside the quilting industry, but it's the one product I feel like really, really helps us out. So I appreciate it. I know Sarah will appreciate it. And you guys, seriously, even now, if you start getting questions that you would want to ask her when she comes on the live show, start sending them to me. I'll start putting them down in my book because we want questions and people to come. And that's not going to be towards until the end of the year. So we've got some time. But I think that we're going to really enjoy it. I'm trying to bring in some other guests for us this year as well. But Sarah has very kindly agreed that when she is feeling more up to it, she'll come and do that interview with us. And she's lovely. If you go to her website and you take a look at any of her videos, or you go to her YouTube and take a look at any of her videos, she's a lovely woman. I think you'll really, really like her. And yes, she's Australian, which is super fun for me. All righty, everybody. Are you ready for the question of the week? Are you ready for the question of the week? All right, let me bring up my question banner. Here we go. Question of the week. Since we're talking about color today, what new color do you want to work with in 2025? So I told you, these are always my go-to. Always. If I just want to work in color and kind of feel comforted, I always pull those fabrics. But even I have to pull myself out of that scenario now and again, especially because I want to bring you guys things that are exciting and inspirational. So this year, is there a color that you've been thinking about that you would like to work with in your quilts? Is it this rust color? Is it a black? Maybe, because you know there's several shades of black. Last year we kind of got away from the dark black and went more into the charcoal grays, which I really love. They're kind of a softer black. Is it a yellow that you've always loved? Let us know in the comments, and then we'll spin for the winner before we say goodbye. Because once we do that, that is our first Quilt and Coffee Chat live for 2025. I've loved it. I hope you guys have had a good time too. I've got my mug here, and oh, I left it open. So, oh, it's still, see, I've left it open the whole time. It is still very warm. It's not super hot because I left the thing open, but it is still very drinkably warm. I love this mug. I love it. It's such a, whoever the Swig company is, they did a really good job of making a good thermal mug. All right. Do we have some answers coming over here? Rosemary says she wants to work with mauve this year. Ooh, mauve is beautiful. Now I would say, oh, I don't have any out here that I really have a mauve in. Let me grab that color cube, see if I can find a mauve in here really quick. Anybody else? Nobody else going to play the question of the week this week? Oh, here. Maybe you want to try some of those colors. Those are kind of cool. That's a very interesting collection. What's the picture on that one? Oh, look. Those are colors from that picture. Personally, I love looking at the pictures on these cards. Sue, navy and gray. Ooh, what a beautiful color combination, Sue. So what I want you to do, ladies, is write these colors down. And sometime here over the winter, one of our smaller projects or blocks or something, I want you to work with that color. Play with it. Ask questions about it. Try and figure out how you can, like Sue, gray and navy can be dark. What colors? Play around. What colors would you want to add with it that makes it brighter? Let's see. Linda says your granddaughter loves purple. love purple. Purple is a beautiful color. I was just deciding that I should make a quilt out of your purple block. Oh, you're talking about the crystal star, I betcha. I also love yellow and black. Now, yellow, black, and purple, three colors that are beautiful together. A light, a medium, and a dark. There you go, Linda. What a great idea. Anybody else want to share what color they'd like to work with this year in their quilts? I'm going to put Sarah's link up here. That's the link. I put it over in the comments, but that's her link as well. If you want to go to her website, check out the color cube and her other stuff. I say, don't just run over and look only at the color cube. Go up at the top and like look at some of her videos and stuff about color theory and stuff. They're very, very easy to understand. They're short, they're small chunks, so it's not like sitting through a big, huge class. You guys will love them, I'm sure. Let's see. Ruth, shades of yellow, Dijon, mustard, and navy. Beautiful color combination, Ruth. Absolutely a beautiful color combination. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and spin over here now. You guys know I don't look because it gives me vertigo and I get sick. And our winner is Sue Varner. Sue, you won today's question of the week. And Sue's colors again, guys, were navy and gray. And I'm going to write that down. In fact, I'm writing all of these down because if these are the colors you guys want to work in, then maybe I can do some of my samples in these colors and kind of help you visually see what they would look like in projects. Would that be helpful? Let me know in the comments if that would be helpful, guys, for you to see it that way. You're very welcome. And let's see, purple, yellow, and black. Just writing those all down. There we go. Thank you. Sue, please send me an email at support@sewincommon.com and I will send you your $5 off coupon for any of the products. Now, Sue, if you are a Quilt Lab subscriber for 2025, you could use that $5 coupon on this one last set of the year because it is not part of that 2025 subscription. So you might want to think about that one unless you are a subscriber for 2024 too. I don't quite remember anymore. There's so many of you lovely folks that are. Let's see. Let me check in over here again. Oh, good. You guys are congratulating her. Good, 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 good. That's what we like to see, right? Friendship building like that. I love that community because that's what we are here at Build a Quilt. We're a great community. If you want to find the patterns that I've talked about today or any of our patterns, please go to the website, www.mybuildaquilt.com. The pattern for the crystal star will be out no later than Sunday, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get it out sometime tomorrow for you, probably in the afternoon. Because I just have to finish going through all the edits on the pattern before I put it out. Alrighty, but take a look at all of our other stuff over at the website. And please continue to subscribe, like, and share to our channel. That's how our community has grown. And that's all because of you guys. I know I say it all the time, but it's really true. When you click that little subscribe button or that little like button, it means something to YouTube in their analytics. But okay, whatever. It's a small click for you, but it truly has changed my world. And it means the world to me. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Subscribe, like, and share. So next time, we won't meet next Friday, but we meet the Friday after. Check out again the list. Let me bring it up one more time. There is our list for our dates. So our next date that we're going to get together is January 24th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We will also be getting together next Wednesday for our next Wednesday workshop live. Disregard that date, the 8th. It'll be whatever next Wednesday is, but 6 p.m. Central Standard Time next Wednesday is Wednesday workshop live. And let's see, are there any other announcement pieces? No, none that I think I need to show you. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the snow. I hope nobody gets a ton of it. I'll go check out, I will go check out comments and all before I leave, even when the banner comes up at the end. I will still be live in the chat for a little bit, okay? Until next time, everybody, go quilt life beautiful. Till next time, bye for now.